I'm Eric Russell for GaryRay.com, and I am out and about tonight with the cast. I've come to enjoy here at Richmond Triangle Players. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good. Great.
Absolutely love your performances tonight. Great, great show. So we're going to work our way around and tell who you are and how you're involved with the show.
I'm Amy Berlin, and I directed it.
I'm Dita Beard, and I played Gina Pirelli.
I'm T. Ross Aiken, I played Victor Pirelli.
And I'm Keith Fitzgerald, I played Tony Pirelli.
I'm Starlet Knight, I played Doris Dobson.
I'm Trevor Kimball, and I play Scott Dobson.
I'm Ford Flanagan, and I was the fairy.
So, Amy, give us a little background about this show. What's the setup for this, the whole thing?
Well, it centers around two families. Scott and Tony are a couple, and then each of their families shows up on Christmas Eve. Uninvited, well, half of them are invited, half of them are uninvited, but they all sort of bring their own problems and tribulations, and then we have our fairy who tries to solve everybody's problems by taking them back in time, forward in time, sideways in time.
What brought you to the show? What made you want, oh, I want to direct this production?
Well, John Knapp, who's the artistic director here, gave me the script, asked me to read it, and about halfway through, I called him and said that I would do it. I was like, don't give it to anyone else.
It's mine, it's mine. You play the sister who's come back from her adventures.
South America.
You crashed their Christmas. What did you like about this character? What brought you to one? Oh, I really like it.
Oh, it's just so great. I mean, she is just totally honest. She's not really sensitive to anybody's feelings. She's got what she wants and what she needs down, and she's sort of, in a lovely way, oblivious to all the, like, sensitivities that have been going on. She just shows up and she's like, I'm here, this is what I want, this is who I am, and it adds just a great last piece in the second act to the whole dynamic that's going on with the families.
And then, Ross, when we first see your character, you were just wandering through. We were kind of like, my life is over. Tell us a little bit more about your guy.
Victor's just, you know, he's made, I think he's a little dim, and he took the easy choice early in life. He married his wife and just did what he was supposed to do, and it wasn't, you know. He's not the brightest bulb in the socket. He doesn't have a lot of free will, and he's come to a point in his life where he's like, you know, I want to make my, you know, I want to do what I want to do, and it kind of blows up in his face. So he goes, you know, he heads to his brother's house because, you know, he's kind of messed up home.
And you were the third sibling out of the whole group, and you have just come back because you are a air waitress. Waitress with wings.
A waitress with wings, better known as flight attendant. Yeah, and I mean, this part just is, it's just so, I don't even know how to say, it's just the relationship, the broken relationship between siblings was just something that was really, really drawing to me. I really enjoyed it, and the fact that I escaped as soon as I possibly could from home and just moved on with my life and eventually found Scott just to finally get my life where I want it to be. And it was just, I mean, it's just a great role to play.
Excellent. And then you had these two kind of drop in unexpectedly.
Yep.
Okay.
It all comes back to you.
Now you play the mom.
I do play the mom, and what appealed to me in terms of the character is how mean she is. That's not something I'd ever done before. And I got a lot, this is going to come out sideways, I got a lot of help from Amy, not because she's mean, but she can see. And that was relatively difficult to do because everybody here was nice and so funny and so pleasant to work with. So that took a fair amount of coaching to get me to where we were tonight.
With your character, did you base her on anybody else, or like some of the experiences? Because you delivered some of these lines, like I've heard from so many other people, with like roommates.
I assume that my first mother-in-law from South Carolina will never know that I said. This is based on her.
Okay. And you play
Scott.
And you have all these people have dropped in on your Christmas. Your mom is there, your lover's there, and all of a sudden, tell us more about Scott, his little erotic life from the video.
Scott, he just doesn't seem to be comfortable, as they say in the show. He's just not quite comfortable in his own skin. He's got a very domineering mother, and has come to Hollywood to try to kind of make his way, but still gets drawn back to Texas, and just slowly through the play finds his way, and finds, you know, with his partner's help, just finds his way to be who he wants to be. And it's a great play, and I absolutely adore the role, simply because I get to do comedy, running around like an idiot, and wonderfully dramatic scenes.
And Ford, you get to do the fairy, the Christmas fairy.
The Christmas fairy, and gets to interact with all of their stories, which is kind of neat. But he also gets to screw around with their stories, which is a lot of fun.
Because you also do the flashback sequences. You draw them in and make them talk to their other characters. The other people that you portray from their past are whom?
Oh golly, let's see. I play their mom. I play his ex-lover. I play his wife, her mom, husband. Yeah.
My baby daddy.
Yeah.
Psychiatrist,
That's right,
psychic
yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slew of them.
What's your favorite moment from the scene beside from all the characters you play? Is there a favorite scene that you have, or one character like, oh, this is my favorite out of the whole conglomerate that you just love playing?
I love Betsy. I like the scene with Scott and Brian. That's a very touching scene. But Betsy is the most fun for me.
Speaking of Brian, getting back to your relationship with Brian, that little scene you have there, what's the history? You know, was Scott really just kind of like doing it out of a duty? Did he really still love him? Or was it kind of like, well, I'm going through the motions, but I'm still, what's it?
I think it's all part of Scott being afraid, just being afraid to really live. Yes, I think he's definitely still in love with Brian, but it can't work. It can't go anywhere, but it's killing him.
Favorite memory, favorite moment?
Year I was 8 years old, and Christmas that year was pretty much like other years. Lots of presents and playing with your brothers and fighting over candy and going outside and maybe having snow, maybe not. It was a fantastic day, and I got all the way to the end of this, 8 years old, went to sleep, and the next thing I know, my mom is, Starlet, Starlet, and tears running down her face. I said, what is wrong? She goes, I forgot, happy birthday. And I went, oh, I forgot too. Your birthday is on Christmas Day, it can get lost, it's not about you.
How about you, Scott?
Basically, I think probably last year, my family and I just moved to Richmond, and it was nice to be in we moved from California, so it was nice to be in a place where it was really cold and kind of snuggling. It's like, wow, this is cool, we're in a new house, and so yeah.
And your favorite Christmas moment?
I have fabulous Christmas memories all the way from childhood to present, but probably my fondest thing about Christmas is being Santa Claus to my now 15-year-old boy, but being Santa all those years was...
I bet you were a great Santa too.
I tried.
And you're built for it,
Sure. Yes. Well, thank you for sharing this show with us. Closing thoughts about this show. What's the message people can take away from this, or anything that overall?
I think the message is, each day you're going to look back tomorrow, and that day is going to be a memory. So is it something that you want to look back on and be proud of? Or is it something you're going to look back on and say, well, I wish I had said something else?
Again, a fabulous show. Thank you again for this. If you want tickets and more information, richmondtriangleplayers.org.
I feel like we're on Dancing with the Stars.
I'm gonna give you a score of 5. Call in, see who's eliminated from the show. Once again, Eric Russell for GaryVA.com. This has been Out and About at Richmond Triangle Players with the cast of Comfort and Joy. Thanks for checking in, and I'll catch you next time.